So today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the iPhone 7 Plus, Apple's new flagship handset for 2016 to probably September 2017. So the other day I stopped by my local Apple store just to see the new iPhones, check them out, and I stayed there for a while to get used to some new features, so I can tell you kind of from a little bit of experience what it's like. So right off the bat, as soon as you pick up the iPhone 7 Plus, there's going to be a few differences that you'll notice very greatly from the other iPhones. That being the new home button, especially because it's pretty much the main button that you use on your phone. You click the home button more than almost anything. So if you don't know, the new one isn't technically a physical button, it's just a sheet of glass, and you pretty much 3D touch on it, and it gives you taptic feedback to let you know you clicked the button, but it's not a physical button. And at first it feels really awkward, really weird, really unusual on an iPhone, but after about 15 times of clicking the button, it just feels normal, and it actually feels weird to go back to a physical button afterwards. So you get used to it very quickly, and it's actually very nice, and it just feels much softer. Personally, I think the new home button is a nice little futuristic move by Apple. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the colors, and as you see here, this is the jet black. And personally, I actually don't like the jet black. So many people are, like, indulging over the jet black, but I'm not, because I've seen it, and look at all the fingerprints. It's insane. You just touch it, and you get a smudge up the whole phone, and who knows how simple it is to scratch it. I know the Apple website says you should put it in a case right away, because it's going to scratch. So what's the point in getting this nice, new, fancy, shiny phone if you have to cover it up right away? So I don't really like this one. I prefer the matte black to any color, and my second choice after that would be the gold. Now, I don't agree with everything Apple did with the iPhone 7, but a thing I do agree with is this change to the storage configurations, because right now I have a 16GB iPhone 6, that's my daily driver, and it's so hard to live on 16GB, but it's just the most affordable option, so I had to pick it if I wanted an iPhone 6. So for those people now, they have a much better option because it starts at 32 gigs and goes all the way up to 128 and then 256. So you're going to be getting a lot more storage at each level. So I really commend Apple for that. Good job, Apple. This is also a really good thing specifically for the Plus model because the Plus costs $100 more at each level, so it's more likely that people are going to have to opt with the base model. Seeing that in Canada, I believe this starts at $1,000 just for the base Plus model, or $900 or somewhere around there. So it costs a lot in most countries just to even get the base model of the Plus. So it's good that they added more storage to that model. Another physical difference that you can see from the phone is the speaker on the iPhone 7 Plus. The speaker is a little bit longer. There was a rumor that the sensor on top that you see there would move into the speaker, but it didn't. The reason the speaker is longer is because it's a stereo speaker. So you now have audio coming out that speaker when you play videos. So when you watch content, it's going to be much louder because you have the speaker on the bottom and the speaker on the front playing your audio. And if you see on the bottom where the headphone jack used to be, where it looks like there's two speakers, one of them actually isn't a speaker, and it's just for aesthetics, it's just for looks, but it actually isn't a speaker. There's just a microphone hidden behind there, but it isn't actually a speaker. So one of them's a speaker on the bottom, and then you have the speaker on the front that works for both phone calls and playing audio in content. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I think the iPhone 7 design from the back is just a refined look of the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, I really didn't like how much antenna bands there were and how there was just some little tiny camera that popped out. But now I think the iPhone 7 Plus specifically looks a lot better aesthetically without two of those antenna lines. I like how they removed some of the antenna bands. It makes the phone look more simple and more modern. So I'm really happy with the new design, and I actually wish the iPhone 6 looked like that. I would have been much more impressed with the design if it looked like that. Now, I just want to quickly mention the removal of the headphone jack. It's made everyone mad, but I personally don't think it's a big deal. I think it's just a move to the future, because we're all going to be moving wireless in the future. That's just destined to happen, and Apple's just making the first big step for that. Now, although I haven't had the best experience with Bluetooth headphones before, because my Bluetooth headphones broke within 2 months and I'm back in wired now, I do think wireless is going to be the future, and I want to embrace it because it means less wires, less possibility of getting your wires tangled, and it just makes things much more simpler and more portable. So I definitely like Apple's idea to push for wireless to become a big thing. And Apple knows that there's people that still can't move on from the headphone jack and plugging in earphones. So for those people, they do include adapters so you don't have to go out and buy them, and they are really cheap if you have to replace them. So I like how Apple did that. Now, according to Apple, the iPhone 7 Plus is much lighter than the iPhone 6s Plus, but I personally didn't really feel any difference from the 6s Plus. It kind of feels the same as the 6s Plus to me. I didn't really feel any differences in how light it is. Now, the last thing I want to mention that's kind of somewhat about the outside is the new camera and new flash. So now with the new flash, there's actually like 3 parts to it, and apparently it really improves night photos, but I wasn't able to test it, of course, because I was in a store. I couldn't really test what it would be like at night. But what I saw from the camera, it's really good, and it seems like Apple isn't lying when they say 2 times zoom has the same quality as if you were to just take a picture at 1 times zoom. So at 1x, the photo quality is the same as at 2x because of the 2 sensors. So you could zoom in quite far and still get really good quality photos on the Plus. And you also have that new bokeh feature coming later that I didn't get to use because it's not out on the 7 Plus yet until a later software update. But that is going to allow you to take pretty much professional portraits right from the iPhone and see them created in real time, which is something not even done on DSLR cameras. So Apple is really working hard on hardware and software in their cameras. So this will be great for photographers and video creators. So out of the box, the iPhone 7 Plus will be running iOS 10. But during this app, Apple will probably prompt you to update to iOS 10.0.1 because it's an important security update. But it's pretty much just iOS 10 just with some security updates. And, of course, as expected, the iPhone 7 Plus runs iOS 10 very smoothly, very well, just as expected because it is Apple's flagship iPhone for a year. Now, most people that are spending so much money on this phone, they're not just going to keep it for a year, most people. So they want to know, how long will this phone last? Will it be fast for a long time? Will I be able to rely on it as a good phone for a while? And what I say to that is you'll probably be able to rely on this phone for about 3 to 5 years, because it's very, very powerful right now with the A10 Fusion chip, and it's going to last a while, as most of the iPhones today last about 5 years on the latest software, and run fairly smoothly, so this phone should run very smoothly for about 3 to 5 years, so don't worry about having to upgrade very soon because of a glitchy, laggy, or just a phone that has a lot of troubles. So in summer you get the latest and greatest from Apple, along with some futuristic moves, such as the removal of the headphone jack and a move to go wireless, and the new dual cameras that offer DSLR quality pictures, the new home button, or in other words, home sensor, the fast new A10 Fusion chip that will last you a very long time and keep this phone working fast and reliably for 3 to 5 years. Other than that, on every level you have double the storage, so you have more storage to store your photos, videos, messages, projects, games, and more. And you also have 5 different colors that reflect all different styles and types of people. Now, if you have an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus or lower, I think you should consider upgrading this year. Although the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus are still fine for another 1 to 2 years, it is good to consider if you like upgrading fairly often. And for Android users using phones older than the Note 4 or Galaxy S6, it is a really good upgrade for you. Now, personally, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to hold on to my iPhone 6 for another year, but that's most likely what I'll do. But if I do get the iPhone 7 Plus, the model I will get is the iPhone 7 Plus in matte black 32GB because it's good for the price and all. You get a good amount of storage for a good price, and I also love the color. So that's going to do it for this video, but thanks so much for watching, and shortly I will be uploading my thoughts episode for the iPhone 7, the smaller model, so please check the description for that and subscribe if it's not up yet so you can see it. And also please check out my iPhone SE My Thoughts video and some of my other videos, please. Also make sure to follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat for the latest updates on what's going on with my life and what's going on with the channels. And if you've made it to this point and you're getting an iPhone 7 Plus or iPhone 7 eventually, I'm going to be having an iPhone 7 and 7 Plus case giveaway coming up very soon, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that, because I will be giving away 2 cases for 2 iPhone 7 and 7 Plus users, but if you don't have an iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, that's okay. I also have options for people with an iPhone 4S to 6S Plus, and people with the Galaxy S5, S6, S7, Note 4, Note 5, Note 7. So, it's pretty much with any fairly recent flagship phone, you could win a case from me, so make sure to subscribe so that you can see when that giveaway comes and enter very early. And make sure to follow my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, because I might just be posting a bonus entry option before the giveaway even starts on one of those social medias. So check those out, please subscribe, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!